to everybody that's coming along. We are doing a bit today about Sway. So digital storytelling with Microsoft Sway in Glow using Office 365 is the big long title for this. But we're going to be looking basically at Sway, what it is, what it does, how you can be using it. And the aims of today's session, as a good teacher, make sure we've got our learning intentions there. Hopefully, by the time you leave at the end, you have an understanding of what Sway is, how you can use it in your school or in your classroom. We're going to talk about how you can show you how you can create a Sway, how you can then go about sharing a Sway with teachers, with kids, and a bit about collaborating as well, particularly when it comes to working with students in your class, how you can get them to collaborate together on a Sway. And we'll be talking briefly about the Microsoft Educator Centre as well. For anybody who is not familiar with that, how you can get yourself onto that programme and redeeming the code for today's session so that you can get recognition for the CPD that you are taking part in today. So it'd be interesting to know, actually, people can stick in the chat, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, how familiar are you with Sway? 5 being very familiar, use it, 1 being not really using it at all. How do you how are you in terms of your use of Sway already? I know it's something that has been about, Sway's been about for quite a long time. I remember attending a Tablet Academy event actually, about 8 years ago, and it was just as Sway had been was starting out and some examples of how it was being used. And I remember at the time thinking, this is amazing, this looks fantastic, this is going to make my stuff look brilliant. And that is kind of one of the reasons why I use it in my classroom. I never ever advocate a tool that I'm not using. It's definitely one that I use a lot in the classroom and in the school. And it's something that I think is underused. I think people kind of see it and think it's a little bit awkward to use, but actually it's really, really super simple, and it gives you lots and lots of ways to present an information. Very different. Most people's go-to is PowerPoint, when in actual fact this, I think, gives you a better looking thing for it, and it's great for blogs and things like that as well. So just a wee overview of myself. You'll see me and Amanda are here today. My name is Sarah Clark, and I am a biology and science teacher over at Queen Anne High School in Dunfermline, over in Fife. I am an MIE expert, and I have been an MIE expert for the last 7 years. And I'm also one of the Microsoft Fellows up here in Scotland, working with the community of MIE experts and in general helping to support teachers across Scotland with their use of Microsoft tools. I'm also a mum, so anything that can impact the classroom and that can benefit my kids, I'm all for. I've got 2 kids, just both of them at high school now. I don't know how we've gotten to that point where I have 2 kids at high school. And also I have a recent new addition of a fur baby who you may hear at some point throughout the event today. You'll probably hear him or my children returning from school. So I'll let Amanda introduce herself though.
Hello everybody, it's great to see comments in the chat already. So we've had 3 collaboration side is what we're more interested to find out more about, and Laura has said 4, there's always something to learn, and that's exactly how I feel. But I am Amanda Pickard. I'm a primary school teacher and I'm teaching in South Ayrshire, but this year I'm actually on a secondment as a digital learning officer for my local authority. So I'm focused on developing skills, digital skills for everyone, colleagues and pupils across the authority. I'm an MIE expert. I've been for a couple of years now, and it has totally changed my life. So if anybody's thinking about it or wondering whether they should, definitely get in touch. We can support you on that because it's a fantastically supportive community. I am a powerlifting, crocheting, book reading human who belongs to a menagerie of various different animals, fluffy and feathery, and some scales as well. At the moment, Wilson, who's my budgie, is starting to tweet and make a lot of noise, which is why I've got headphones on. So hopefully you don't hear Wilson because she's starting to wind up. So yes, it's lovely to see everybody here on Thursday. And if you've got a long weekend, I'm very impressed that you're here. So well done. And that's me.
So as Amanda says, the two of us are practitioners within schools. This is one of the tools that we use with our staff in the school that we work in, along with our students all the time. So in terms of what Sway is, it's a presentation tool. It's a digital storytelling tool, but it is so adaptive, fluid. It makes things look fantastically amazing, and it focuses on the content rather than the formatting. And I think for me in the classroom, that was a big win. Students, when they're using things like PowerPoint, I find they spend a long time looking at how they can format it and move things in and make them all look great. And they can spend, a whole period with me doing that rather than actually what the content is. The whole point of the presentation is to display the content they're learning, and they tend not to be doing that. So Sway is one where it does all the fancy stuff for you, so your students and yourself can really just concentrate on the content that you're putting into it. So Sway is able to combine so many elements, whether that is adding text to it, you can add images, you can add video, you can embed content from other websites, documents, videos from YouTube, you can upload your own videos, as well as adding forums. We embed forums in our one, and being able to add audio to that as well. So first up, we're going to get you guys to do a little bit of work. We want to know how you think you could be using Sway, or how are you using Sway at the moment. And Amanda, can you take over the screen and share your Menti?
I surely can. Let me just make sure that I have got it already. I've put the link in the chat, so everybody, if you just click on the link, and I will share my screen. Where are we? That did not work. Oh, goodness. Just share my screen and I'll just go straight to it. Here we go. Ways to use Sway. How do you use Sway? How could you use Sway? Let's have your ideas. Hopefully you can see that.
Yes, as Amanda says, the link's in the chat. You can just click on that, or you can go to menti.com and put in that code at the top. And just give us some ideas of how you've used it, or how you think you could be using it in your classroom. I mean, the whole session's around digital storytelling. It's so much more than just telling stories.
I like that evidence of learning there. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Newsletters, yeah, it's one thing that we moved over to in our school in the last year, to producing our newsletters as a Sway. One of the reasons being that whether you were on a computer or a mobile, it tailors itself to that. So it's much easier for our parents to be able to see the information. They don't need to have any other software on their phone. It's just a web link. We can easily share it out. And we can then add in so much more. We can add in pictures much easier, and it doesn't affect file size or anything, or take longer to load up. So registration information, yep. Class newsletters, topic presentations, recipes.
That's a good one. Recipes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly why I started using a Sway for my class newsletter, because it's so easy to share with parents, and then they just need to save the web link, the URL, and they've got it on their device, mobile, and they can check in quickly, easily, and it doesn't matter how much I send because it's just a URL link. It's great.
We set it up last year as part of our Primary 7 transition. So every week we were putting out tasks for our students because they couldn't come into the school, and it was all being done virtually. So we were updating parents. We were sending out tasks and little activities for the kids to do. But because we were able to update it, because it's live, and as you change it, then the link stays the same the whole time. That way, our parents didn't need to have a new link each week. The same link was being sent out. They could go back and look at whether it was on Twitter, whether it was on their email coming through, and it was the same link each week. So whenever they clicked on it, they could see what was updated, and being able to put a sway in a sway, that just blew my mind. So we'll be able to show you how to put a sway inside a sway as well, because I do that often with my kids to pull everything together. So if your students are evidencing their learning in sway, you can then take all those sways together and then share it out with the parents to really show what the class has been doing. So we've got loads of ideas on that one.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Fantastic.
James saying, yeah, instructions. So lots of ways.
Okay, I will just stop sharing my screen and hand back to you.
So we put together, I'm going to have to go back and find this file again so that I've got it, because I'm presenting it. It's slightly different, and now I can't find where it's gone. So when we were planning for this session, we were looking at
Did you see that Laura put in the chat? That's a brilliant idea. She's going to send home QR code cards this year for kids to send to family members. That's a fantastic way to do it.
Yeah,
Love
it's
that.
a really good way. So we put up some examples of how we were using it, which is essentially what you guys have came up with as well. It's really good as an online blog. So if you're wanting to use it as a blog for kids to evidence their learning, or for you to put it out, you can constantly be updating that as well. I know lots of people use it for their lesson plans too. They're uploading all their documents, all the links in there. And ourselves, we use it as an online textbook where we upload the content, we upload images there, and we then direct our students to that for their information when they are completing tasks. It was very useful when we were fully online learning, but now that we've came back into the class, we're able to use it. We're able to send them out to kids that are maybe working at home. Kids can use it in class, and we've got a bank of them built up now. So once it's created, you can then reuse it again and again, tweak it as and when. So lots of different ideas for how to use it. But I think what we want to start doing now is actually take you through a little demonstration. So I know people are at different stages. Some people are very, very familiar with how to use Sway. We're making sure that everybody is confident when they leave here on how to use it. So I'm apologising now for people that I know on this that use it really, really well. But Amanda's going to take us through how to access it, particularly within Glow, and then how to add in the cards and that, and then we'll be looking at how you can go on and start sharing that afterwards.
Perfect. Okay, let me share my screen and I can get started. So when Sarah and I were actually planning this session, Sarah taught me that she doesn't go through Glow because she finds it quicker to just go to sway.com. Is that right? And then you can sign in straight there, sign in with your Glow credentials. So you can do that as well. But I'm going to sign in first of all using Glow. So I'm just going to put in my details. And if I can remember my password. Yes, I can. So this is my Launchpad, and I've just got the Office 365 tile, but you can get separate tiles for each of the apps, but I just like to keep it nice and neat. And it takes me to my Office 365 Launchpad where I get all of my apps down the left-hand side. Sway is the little green square icon with a S in it. There is another, I teach primary one the last few years, or infants the last few years, so pardon me for using S instead of S. So this is another S icon, but it's not square, so I always teach my little ones to look for the square green one with this in it. So I'm going to click on Sway, and it takes me to this kind of launchpad or menu, and this is where you can get started. I'm just going to zip to the sway.com, and I'm going to log in as well, just because it takes you to a slightly different look. Let's see if I can do this. It takes you here, which I think, Sarah, you prefer that look. But I can also get there.
The benefits of the one going through Glow is it shows you the ones that are recent, and they can be recent ones that you've created, but also recent ones that you've viewed. So if you viewed one you know, a week ago, then that'll still be in that list of recent ones, which is helpful. Sway.com just takes me to mine.
So you can start a new blank sway or start from a document. And it's very similar. If I just skip over here, create a new one, start from a topic, which is fantastic, or start from a document. I have used both of these, but I prefer to start just a new blank sway. There are templates as well. If I go here, loads of templates you can choose from. And there's also some featured sways down here at the bottom. You can get some great ideas. But I always like to have a little bit more control. And certainly when I'm teaching my class, we start with a brand new blank sway.
Just before you do that, Amanda, can you just back to that screen just before, because it's got the analytics there, and it's something that people maybe don't aren't really aware of, that you can go in there and you can see how many, no, on the one that you were on. It'll tell you how many views you've got, which I think for a newsletter for us in a school, it's really useful to see, well, how many parents are actually viewing this week by week. So you can see how many views you've got, and you can see how quickly people were on it as well, scanning through. For me, that was very helpful in the classroom, because we had directed our students to their sway to look for the information, and I came back and I said, there's only 5 of you been on since last week. So I know the majority of you are not going on and looking at this. So as soon as I get any kind of data, for me, it really helps me to then think about our next steps as a class.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see this one down here, which is OA, which is actually a phonics lesson, was done through lockdown. So 57 views, 19 quick reads, 3 deep reads. That's a pretty good for primary 1. That's pretty good stats for them. That's really good for my class. I think I only had 15 kids in the class, so that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go here. So Sway is just, if you think about PowerPoint as slides, Sway has different cards. It's almost the same sort of thing, but they're kind of classed in different ways. There's different types of cards. So it takes you to a title card, and I can put a title in here. And I'm just going to type in sustainability, because I thought I would try and create sustainability, something to do that was kind of topical at the moment, since we're on the countdown to COP26. And if I press enter there, it opens up another card for me. But putting in sustainability, you can emphasize this or accent, or I can actually highlight it and click on link and make it a live link. But what I'm going to do is click on the background here. And Sway is so clever, because it already goes away and searches for things that it thinks I might find useful. So I don't have to go anywhere outside of Glow or outside of Sway to find something. So if I click on sustainability, Creative Commons only, so that means that I'm okay to use things, and I can actually click on, well, that's a nice one. I like that one. I can drag and drop it into my background, and I'm instantly starting to look pretty good. I'm not going to worry about formatting anything at the moment. And the reason for that is if I already play this Sway, it looks really good, very professional. And I think certainly in primary, when your learners can see that something very, very quickly and simply, that's a word and a picture, can actually look so professional and so good. And that's definitely a bonus for learners. So I'm going to click on edit here. It's automatically given me a text card, but I might not want a text card. So I can actually click on this little green button, and these are the different kinds of cards. I can have another heading, text, an image. Stack is about photographs or pictures or images. I can upload something. These are just suggested ones, but you can go into text, media, and groups of things. So I am going to go and find some images, and I took some screenshots earlier on in the day, and I'm actually going to go, and instead of clicking on suggested here, I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to go to my device, and I'm hopefully going to go and open up here, and I am going to take these 4, not that one, maybe those 3 images, and it's quickly uploading from my device. Takes a little bit of time. My
And
Wi-Fi
that
has been...
upload in there with being able to upload from, you know, there's a web, your device, anything that you've got stored in your OneDrive as well, it'll link to that too. So, and being able to then bulk upload them really saves time.
Absolutely. And already it's uploaded the 3 images that I had chosen, and in each card, they're each on a separate card, but they've all got a tick in the bottom right hand corner. And I've got some options here. I've got group, I can keep the size standard small or medium or big, or I can just delete them. But I'm going to group them. And this is where I love Sway, because you can actually change the look of your group of images. So I love stack. I think stack looks really good. But there's lots of different options. There's an automatic one. There's layout in a grid, or a slideshow with little images, thumbnail images underneath, or this one is a continuous comparison type thing, which is, I've got a Sway to show you with that in it. So already, if I go in and play, and this is what when I'm teaching my learners to use Sway, I just say, just go in and play it and see what it looks like. Do you like it, or do you want to change it? So Sway has automatically decided that it's going to be from side to side, and this is my stack of images. When I'm using it, click on the image and it just goes through like a stack of photographs. I just think that is so cool. If I'm happy with the size, then I would leave it. If I wanted to make it bigger, this is a medium size, and when I play it again, that made absolutely no difference. So clearly Sway doesn't want me to make it any bigger. So those are images. If I click on here, I am going to, let me see what I can find, media and video, but I'm going to go and search something to do with sustainability here. What is sustainability? It shows me that this is a video because in the bottom right hand corner there's a little video icon here, and it tells me how long this video lasts. This looks pretty good. What is sustainability? I think I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to select that one and just going to drop it in here. And I have got a video, and I'm going to try and make that nice and big because I want them to really have a good look at that one. So let me see. I am going to see if I can upload.
I think being able to jump back and forward when you're making it up as well and go on to that play, how does it look? I'm not too sure. Come back out, edit it again, go back in and play. And it feels a little bit at the beginning, you're like, I'm back in and out. But if you were concentrating on putting everything in and then you go and have a little look, you can then come back and move things about like that.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of the other great things about Sway is you have lots of different ways of getting content, images, audio, video, documents, all sorts of things. It gives you suggested, but there's OneDrive. This is connected to my OneDrive in Glow, Flickr, Bing Images, Picket, YouTube, or my device. I'm going to go into OneDrive here. And I don't need to come out of Sway to go anywhere else. This is all linked in here, if my Wi-Fi can hold up. Nope, my Wi-Fi is not going to do it. I definitely put some things in here. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Oh, I don't think it's going to do it. That's annoying. Let's see if I can do image from OneDrive. YouTube. Let's try again. OneDrive. Let's see if we can get it to go. It is honestly pretty quick. Normally, it's not going to work for me, unfortunately. That's a real shame. I put
But
some
Wi-Fi problems all day, Amanda, today, haven't you?
Oh, it's been terrible, honestly, but it is really, really quick, and it is literally, it just shows you your folders in your OneDrive. You can search in your OneDrive for sustainability. I've got things in my OneDrive from today, and you can pick from this sidebar here and just drop it straight into your Sway. It is literally that quick. I promise you, you don't have to go anywhere and download it or upload it or anything like that. It is that quick, which is really ideal. So that's a real shame. My goodness me. Sometimes when I am doing these images, I can go to Bing Images and I think I don't really like any of these. None of these are really appropriate. So I do go and have a look and see if there is anything on Flickr or on Pickard, which is super slow as well. Oh, I'm doing really well today. And you just have to make sure images are subject to Pickard.com terms. You're responsible for respecting others' rights, including copyright. And that always gives me an in to teach copyright and privacy to my class at the time. So yeah, there's lots and lots of different things that you can get. These are completely different focus on sustainability, and I can drag and drop that in here. So I've shown you some images and I've shown you some video. Earlier on, you can add in captions here. So if I put in go green and plant some life-saving plants, and I'll show you what that looks like. At the moment, I haven't done any of the formatting really. I've just put in my stack. I put in my video, which plays in here. So I'm not going to click on that just now. And here's my other image here with my caption underneath it. And I'm going to go to the end and then click on edit. If I just had a text card, what I really could do is actually go to, I've got another website open here. Let me see. If I was going to COP26, maybe I would, oh, there we go, learning sustainability. I think this is the one I wanted. And I might want to grab some of that text in here. Now all I'm going to do is highlight it, copy it, and then I'm just going to print it, copy it in there. And again, you can actually change the look of this. You can emphasize, which makes it go bold. You might want to give it an accent or some bullets. And then I'll show you very quickly what that looks like. I think one of the other things that's great about Sway is you can't break it. It saves automatically for you, so you don't need to worry about saving it. It's there, you can't break it, and I always try and get my learners to just have a go, have a play with it, see what it looks like, and already we'd be thinking, this doesn't look particularly great. So there's nothing that you can do to break Sway, and that's one of the things that I love about Sway. At the moment, here you go, you've got, this is a small size. If I make it bigger, it would just make the text bigger and it would stand out a little bit more. And if I show you what it looks like now, here's sustainability. There we go. That looks much, much better. And the font has gone lovely as well. So it just takes away all that moving things around on your slides from PowerPoint and playing around with animations. I don't know what your learners are like, Sarah, if they're in PowerPoint, but animations, oh my goodness me, you can lose an hour playing around with animations and not have any content whatsoever. So I've not spent any time really putting anything in here. There's literally, I'm going to see heading. If I put in another heading, I might have, reduce, reuse, recycle. And again, I am going to come out here and reduce, reuse, recycle. I'm going to go back to Bing. Oh, lovely. So there's some really nice images here. I like this one in particular. And if I move Sarah along a little bit. There we go. Sorry, Sarah, I'm moving into the corner. So now I'm going to talk about this option here, focus points. I use this a lot because sometimes when you play, Sway will cut out part of your picture just to fit it in with, it's just loading, just to fit in with your format. Let's see. Still loading.
That'll be your Wi-Fi. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I think it's actually my husband who's upstairs. I can hear him playing on the computer. So, yeah, you see it's cut off some of my image, which I don't want it to cut off my image. So the focus points is where this comes into play. This is when you have an option. If I click on focus points, it gives me this. The entire image is important, and that includes the white area surrounding. If it wasn't the entire image, what you could do is just click on the bits of the image that are important. So I could click, say, I want these bits to be included. And, oh, there we go. Oh, let me go there. Fantastic. And then it gives you a little preview of what that includes in that picture. So it won't include all of the white space around it, but it'll show you what it looks on devices. Oops. So Sway picks the best layout depending on your device and style. So it doesn't matter what device the recipient or the audience is looking at this Sway on, it's always going to look pretty good. So if I show you now and play it, I should have shouted at my husband before we started. Don't go online. There we go. So it's all there now. That looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. So edit again. And let me have a wee look. So I've shown you a text card. A heading too, it makes things stand out as well. So I might be looking at reduce. And I want to just emphasize that. And it's linked together with this previous one. I've done image, I've done a stack. Is there anything I haven't done? Audio. Audio is one of the things that I use quite a lot if I'm teaching languages, and something that my learners will use as well if they're wanting to put a bit of a personal touch. And it's really, really easy to use because you can record your own audio in Sway, so you don't need to have an audio file and upload it. You can actually just click on this card and it gives you this little button, which you should all recognize. It looks very much like Dictate or audio recording in other apps, Office 365 apps. So I'm going to click on record. It tells me to get ready so I can prepare myself. Hello and welcome to my Sway. We are going to find out a little bit more about reduce, reuse, recycle as we get ready for COP26. And I'm going to pause it. You can listen back to it, you can re-record it, you can put it in the bin, or you can just add it to your Sway. Eventually. There we go. It's preparing. It might take a wee bit of time, but you can carry on and edit your Sway as that's getting ready. And I might want to do some images, and I'm just going to search on reduce. And oh, I like this one. I'm going to just do this. One of the great things is I don't even have to start it, so I even missed that card. I don't even need to put a card in here. If I'm just adding in images, I literally can go through and just drag and drop them. And what else do I want to do? Let me go and see if there's anything else in Pickard. Oh, I'm so sorry about my Wi-Fi. Here we go. I like them. I like this one. I like this superhero one. I like these bins. Fantastic. So I'm finished with getting all my images really, really quickly. Pick, drag, drop. I didn't even have to prepare myself by getting any other cards involved. And now I'm going to actually, this is all in a group already. So you can see this dark grey outline. It's all in a group. But I'm going to actually specify what I want it to look like. So I'm just going to select these images. I'm going to leave out my audio recording and my heading, and I'm going to say group them, and I am going to stack them. And I think that's a really nice way of making sure that it's not hundreds and hundreds of scrolling through a Sway. So when whoever your audience gets it, it's not like, oh, there's hundreds and hundreds, I have to keep scrolling, but it's all there and it's just a tap and it goes through this. So I'll just show you this very quickly. Oh, that loaded up quickly. My video. And here we go. So I just left it as a small size. There's my second heading. There's my audio recording, and it's just a case of clicking on it. Will it play? So easy peasy. I don't know if you heard that or not. And then we can just go through. So even if you had your learners taking photographs around your school of the things that you're doing to reduce, reuse, recycle, and then uploading those photographs and just having them in a stack is a really powerful way of sharing their learning and what they're doing in school. So I love that, absolutely. I use the stack quite a lot. So I don't know if there's anything else I need to show you. I honestly believe the best way to learn Sway is to play with it. And very quickly, I started off knowing nothing. I am one of those teachers years ago who was sitting going, I can't do this. And then I just thought, right, be brave, just have a go and be brave and literally just add in things, try it out. And that's my big recommendation, just to have a go and try it out. And certainly sometimes I've been in my class saying, I don't know how this works, boys and girls, but we're going to have a go. Click on this and let's see what we can create. And the first thing that I do with all my smallest learners is they create a Sway all about me. So they do it all about themselves. So they don't need to think about finding out information or any research. They literally can just put in their hobbies, what they like, their favorite color, their favorite food, anything like that. So that's a really nice, lovely start task to do at the beginning of the year if you've just starting out with Sway. So I think I've showed you pretty much all of the cards, but I'm going to show you some of this up here. This here is the storyline. So just what I'm working on is the storyline. Easy peasy. But here we've got a design option. Now, Sway has chosen what style my Sway looks like. I've not even thought about that. But it gives you a few other options. You can do this little arrow, and it says undo previous actions. That's not what I'm looking for. Styles is what I'm looking for. And this is the remix button. Remix magically changes everything, font, style, whether it's vertical, horizontal, slides, colors, everything magically. And you can click on remix. And it totally changes it like that, magically, dead quick. You can undo that if you think, no, I prefer the previous one. Or you can customize what you have already. Or down here, there are literally lots and lots of color options and different looks that you can apply to your Sway. And you can choose one of these, or you can customize each of them. So you might think, I really like the look of maybe this one here or this one here, but I don't like the font. So that's when you can start customizing the font. You can customize colors, the font. I don't like the font. Maybe I really like this one. Animation emphasis, text size. Maybe I want to make it a little bit bigger. Can I do it? Yes, I can. There we go, a little bit bigger. And maybe I want a bit more. Oh, I don't want that less. Can I do it half? It's not going to let me. So, and it makes it look completely different, hopefully. I'm still going horizontally. Still got a very similar background, but it's changed where some of my text and things is. So I might want to go back and edit, and I might want to choose something completely different. Click on back. I might want to have it vertical.
Vertical's my favourite.
Is it?
I feel it has a look of a website.
Yep.
And when you're on a mobile phone, you're scrolling.
Yeah.
So I find
I really like vertical as well, but occasionally I find myself choosing slides. So slides is I like slides as well. To show you what
other
slides
people
looks
say
like.
the same. They like the vertical.
Yeah. So slides looks almost a bit more like PowerPoint. It kind of goes from one to the other. So it doesn't scroll in the same way that you might be scrolling through a website, but it's a really nice way of having a look at things. I quite like slides. I like the look of that, apart from my wee audio bit, which is on its own, which is a bit sad. I don't like that. But yeah, there's literally so many different options. Down here as well, I was playing about with this. Sometimes if I've got a huge Sway, I don't want to go through the whole thing. I just want to look at a little bit. If you click on this, it takes you to, let me do that again. It takes you to your different starting points. So your headings, actually you can jump to different headings. So quite like that as well. Vertical, let's see what vertical looks like. Yeah, vertical is quite good, apart from this. This annoys me that I can't make it centered. So I'd have to make my
I get that a lot.
size different.
I'm doing a session not that long ago, and they said, "Can I not move it over?" I went, "No, you can't. That's
I
the
know.
point of it. It doesn't. It gives you some control, but it doesn't give
Yeah.
you full control over it."
This is quite a good wee button though, because I can make it bigger. I can actually scroll through those images and make it bigger if I wanted to do that. So that's a nice one. But yeah, I would like to be able to center things. That's my only request, please. There you go. There's my reduce, and look, there's my little stack that's very, very small. But again, you can use this expanded button to go through each of these itself. So that's very, very basic Sway. Sway does lots and lots of other things. You can have a sway in a sway, as Sarah said. So if I go and see if I can grab one of my other sways that I was playing with today, I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to grab the link and see if I can actually go back to my storyline, and I'm going to see if I can put in my oh no, I think I've just got the URL there, not the embed code, didn't I?
We'll talk about the embed code in a bit.
We'll talk about the embed code in a minute. There was me trying to be up. See, no, it does not like that at all. I got the wrong code, and now it's not going to let me do anything with it. Delete. Okay, so that's my quick run through, my quick demo of Sway. I will hand back to Sarah now, I think.
Yeah. So just following on from some of the things that Amanda had taken through there as well, I'm just going to share my screen and go to no, I was looking for a YouTube video there for, there we go, here's my sway back here. One of the things that she'd mentioned about starting from a topic, or creating new, most of the time I'm creating new as well, but one of the things that in our school the management team are filling in a Word document all week with information to go into our newsletter, and one of the things they do is they often use the start from a document. So when you click start from a document, you can then pick any of your Word documents or PowerPoints or anything like that. This is one that my son did on sustainable development goals. And if you select the file, so his was a PowerPoint, this will work with Word as well. It takes a couple of minutes. I'm just going to go back because I've already got one done, so we're not having to wait for it to go. But this is then what it looks like. So what it's done is it's taken his PowerPoint and it's taken the headings and it's taken the images and it's taken the text that he's then put in to his slides, and it's added them all together in a sway. So it's taken his document and it's put it in a sway. Now, when you look at it, again, this is when you go, all right, okay, so it's decided how it's going to be. I'm not too sure about some of these. And that's when you can then go back. All the content has been uploaded, so you're not having to copy and paste. So all these content is in there. And then what you can do is you can say, well, I'll take away this card because we don't need that one. I'll take away this one here. And Amanda had mentioned about embedding. So I'm just going to add in a card in here. And if we go to the media, we can then go to the embed card that's there. Now, if you are, up until about a few years ago, I didn't know what an embed was. I didn't understand what it was at all. But if you pick a YouTube video, let's just find, this was one I was doing for the advanced hire, okay? Mrs. Kennedy's binding of a phosphate. If we wanted to add this to my sway, I can just paste a link in, a web link. But if I want to actually embed it in it, if I go to the share option for the YouTube video and I go to the embed code, I can then copy the whole of the link. So there's the embed link there. I can copy that and I can go back, and if I paste that in there, sometimes it takes a wee minute for it to, there we go, it's working through just now. And if I go in to play, and we scroll down, it's taking a minute because it's got a new video added. There's a little video. There we go. So there's the video that's been added there. Now, if it's too small, you just go back in and edit and change the size of the card to make it larger. So go back in, put too many things in this one. Go back in, find the video, make the video larger. And we actually use this a lot of the time in our school for sharing videos, sharing not only YouTube videos, but also our own videos, because you can upload a video and then you can see that video from YouTube will sit straight in that sway. So you can put a collection of them together in a sway there. And we do that with a lot of our videos, as I said, our own ones, but embedding videos from other sources in there too. I'll come back. Now, one of the other things you can do is you can grab an embed from a forum. I'll show you an example of how that looks as well. But if you go to the sharing and forums, you can grab it. And if you're adding a sway and a sway, I will just do it just now, seeing as we're talking about it anyway. Go to the media. I'm going to go to an embed. And I will need to come back to find one of my other sways. So here is, I'm going to take this sway. We're going to look at some of the examples in a wee while. But if I go to share, and you'll see there it'll say get embed code. If I copy that embed code and copy it, and then come back to the sway that I was working on, which was my son's PowerPoint. And now I add in an embed. I can paste the embed code for that sway in there. And it will take a little minute. Hopefully. There we go. That sway then sits inside a sway. So if you've got students that are sharing sways with you as a collaborator, if they share the embed code, or you get the embed code for it, you can put them in there. So you can, if you've got maybe 4 or 5 sways on a particular topic, ones that kids have made, and you're wanting to put a collection together, you can embed it in there, and then you can scroll through, which we've done it with some of the applications that we've done year on year in school. And we've shown last year's application and then this year's application. So last year's application in this year's application, and it is live just like any other sway that you've got there. So that's the embed one, which is probably the one that I use the most from that. So,
and there's lots of different things you can embed in a sway. You can embed forums, and you can embed thing links, and you can embed lots and lots of different things. But I was also going to say you can actually create a sway from a PDF or any other document. And again, it takes everything and it splits it all up, and it might not be perfect, but that's the content in there, and then you can start deleting and things. So I've created newsletters for people from PDFs, and I've uploaded PDFs. So all my content is there, and then I can start deleting and moving things around. So it just takes away all of that copy and paste and trying to lay out things and formatting. It's such a quick, easy way, and it looks professional very, very quickly. So.
And if you are, that starts from a topic. What was it? You were talking about COP what?
COP 26.
26. I never remember what the number is at the end of it.
COP 26, yeah.
I wonder if it will give me anything on that. So you can put in a topic, create an outline, and it will create a. It doesn't.
No, I don't think it will. If you do it without the space, maybe sustainability. If you put in sustainability, it might give you something.
2014 Asia Cup.
Asia Cup doesn't like it. Sustainability would be quite good.
It will then actually create an outline for you, and it actually already gives you information, venues, information that you maybe want kids to use. So if you're setting one up for your students on a particular topic, you could just search for a particular topic, and it saves you the hassle of then making one up for them to go on and then complete. And you can then go on and share that with the students, and we'll get on to sharing shortly. But before what are we just at kind of 10 to? So
I was just going to say, Sarah, one of the good things about starting a sway this way is starting from a topic, it gives you the references already at the end, so you don't have to think. So for older pupils, maybe you want them to reference where they got their information. When you start from a topic, it's there already. It saves you a huge amount of trouble. And Laura, Miss Peden, is basically saying maps are great to embed too. I've not embedded a map before that. That sounds brilliant.
New one. So we are 10 to just now. What we want to do is share. I'm just going to go to the PowerPoint. That's probably the easiest thing just now, because we very briefly want to talk about the Microsoft Educator Centre, which is an online CPD site that you can go to upskill yourself. We, within the school, we use it in the school for our staff, and there is a code, and I am just going to copy that code just now there, and I will stick that in the chat for us all.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible seeing yourself big on the screen.
Sorry. Well, it's there. It's not. It doesn't look particularly great, but it is there for you. But we come back to the Educator Centre. So if you go to education.microsoft.com, you can, if you haven't signed up for it before.
Amanda? I've also got the tile in my Launchpad in Glow, so you can actually add the tile to your personal Launchpad and then just click the tile. It takes you straight there.
I think if you go into your Scotland Launchpad as well, the Educator Centre is there as part of the Scottish tiles that are there. But education.microsoft.com, if you go in, you can click on the side and you can sign up if you haven't done that before. If you have already been using it, you can click on your profile, you can click redeem an achievement code, and you can stick in that code from today, and you can redeem that for this session. The benefits of the Educator Centre is that all your CPD is logged in your profile. So if I go in here, I can go in and I can look at my profile, and everything that I have done, it tells me the dates that I completed my course on. If I go to view transcripts, any course that I've completed on it, or any course code that I have redeemed gets converted to a PDF here, and you can actually see what the course was and how long you were on that for. You can then save that, and it can be uploaded to your GTCS profile. The certified educator on the Microsoft Educator Centre, if I just come back out, the programs that are here, the Microsoft Innovative Educator, you can, if you complete 2 hours, and I think at the end of today, you should be able to get your code to become a certified innovator. That is a recognised pathway, and the whole Microsoft Educator Centre has been verified by Education Scotland as aligning with the continued professional learning within Scotland, the CLPL programme within Scotland, so it aligns with that, so it's recognised and verified by Education Scotland. There are, when you're on it, if you've not used it before, you can go into training, and if you click on courses, you can go in and have a look at a whole variety of courses. You can filter them down the side if you're beginning, and you can get some of the beginner courses. You can search for them. So there is a course on Sway. We're taking you through most of it here. There we go, digital storytelling in Sway. But for anything that you're looking for some CPD on, you can go through it, you can search, and you can find a course that suits your needs. And that's what I found was the benefit of it. It's got courses there, and I can do courses that I know are going to be the ones that impact my classroom. It is not all about how to use a tool. There's ones about collaboration, there's ones about accessibility, and there are some new tools as well, like reading progress that have been released, differentiation in the class, so how the tools can help you with accessibility, differentiation as well. So please, if you haven't gone on and signed up for this, you can go on, you can sign up just now, you can redeem that code and log this as training, and all the training that you do that's digital on that is logged for you, so you can just upload it at the end at the on the GTCS. And it made my life a lot quicker this year when I could see everything that I was doing on it. Also, for any events, you can go on and you can click for any online webinars, events that are in there too. And again, you can filter them and see ones that you maybe would want to go to.
I like a learning path, Sarah. I'm a big learning path fan.
Just going to say the next one is the learning paths. Now, these sometimes take those short courses and put them together into a whole pathway that takes much longer. One that's definitely worth looking at long term over the year is the 21st century learning design. That really made me sit down and look at how I'm designing my lessons and how I can get more out of them. The pathways are made up of lots of different badges together. We can see it takes about 20 hours, so it's a long time to go through. But over the space of a year, give yourself a target. And as you complete bits of it, you can go through and you can see what you've still got left to do. And I often do a badge when I'm sitting waiting to pick the kids up from football or from their friend's house if I've got a wee 20 minutes waiting time. Sometimes I'll sit there and read a book and some time to myself, and other times I'll sit down and do one of the MEC courses.
It's great because you don't have to sit down and complete the whole course start to finish. It actually saves your progress. So I started doing these courses and maybe at lunchtime at school, and I spent 5 or 10 minutes just having a wee look at a course, picking a course, going through the first bit, and I just worked my way through, and I could just go back and actually pick up where I'd left off. So it's not that you have to sit down and do it from start to finish, hours on end, not like that at all, unless you're me sometimes. During lockdown, it was a hobby.
Yeah, and a lot of them are underpinned by the pedagogy behind it as well. It's not just how to use OneNote, it's why would you use that within the class. So we're going to take a short break just now. We said we would have a little look at the MEC. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen just now. And we are going to give you the opportunity to, if you're not signed up to the MEC, you can go on and you can sign up on that just now. What also you might want to do is go on and have a little play with Sway. If you've not used it before, if there's something that you want to do, you can go on, have a little play. If you've got any questions, please ask us as we're going through it. Also, if you need to go and take a wee comfort break, get yourself a drink. If you need to go and check that the kids are safe and well, then please go and do that just now. And we will convene back here at 5:15. But it really, I think, gives people an opportunity to go away and have a little play with the tool. And if there's something that you come across that you don't know how to do, then please just stick it in the chat and ask us, and we can answer that as we go through it.
Yep, I was going to say, if anybody does take this time to sign up for the MEC and you redeem your code, make sure you tweet about it. Love to be able to give you a wee like back. You can tweet and tag Sarah and me and Tablet Academy, and you can share your certificate. If you go into your profile, you can actually click on the badge and you can get access to your certificate, download it, share it, celebrate it. So yeah, definitely take an opportunity to do that. I love a badge. Anything for a badge for me. So
hashtag Sarah loves a badge. I'm actually on Twitter with that hashtag.
Yeah, Sarah loves a badge. So does Amanda. So definitely get on, sign up, redeem your code, tweet it. I'm going to keep a wee eye on Twitter right now, and we'll see you back here in, what did we say, 15 minutes?
About 15 minutes, yeah. And then we're going to look at sharing it with other teachers, collaboration with it as well. So take a break, take a breath. I'm going to turn my light on because it's getting very dark in my room just now. And if you've got any questions, please ask in the chat and we'll start back up again at 5:15.
Perfect. There's Laura loves a badge as well.
Turn the light on. It'll be daylight again. Keep a wee eye on the chat.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a few things on Twitter. Oh, my goodness me. Tablet. Niall, you've been tweeting. Well done. Must have been oh dear, somebody else's son is coming home and turning on the Xbox and interrupting the Wi-Fi. It happens. Yeah. My husband was upstairs watching a film, I think.
The only reason mine hasn't dropped off is because my son's got football training, so he's not on the Xbox. Otherwise, I would be too.
Yeah, I don't know. Today it's been worse than ever. Just keeping a wee eye on Twitter.
So we just said, for anybody who did get cut off when the Xbox got turned on, we said we're taking a short 15-minute break. If people need to go and get a drink or go for a comfort break, but people can also have the opportunity to sign up to the MEC, go onto the website, redeem that code if you've not redeemed it, if you are already using the MEC, or have a little play with Sway. Go on, have a little look at it, maybe try something that you've not done before. Have you maybe not tried audio before? Have you maybe not tried embedding something? So have a little go with that, and then we can have questions if anybody's got any questions as we're going through, any problems that arise as we go through.
Yeah, I'm going to go and see if I can embed a map. Laura had said it looks good. I wonder what website she's using.
You can share your screen while you do it. What website do you use, Laura?
She's still there.
Yeah, she's typing.
Good.
And you can share your screen as you do it.
I could do, yes. That's a good idea. I'll just put it into my COP26 sustainability crazy one that I'm doing. Oops. Sway.
So we've got, I uploaded some photos from an iPad to a Sway, but although they were the right way up on the iPad, when they were put in the Sway, they were turned by 90 degrees. Can you change the photo orientation once it's in Sway? No. I'm wondering if the iPad, if the picture was taken on its side, that might be the issue.
Yeah, and you need to change the orientation.
Taking them on the side, that might be the issue with it. You maybe need to take them up and down.
Yeah. Or you can just edit in iPad, edit and turn it around. So did Laura tell me what website I can get a map from?
Embed Code from Google Maps.
Oh, Google Maps.
Or Bing Maps.
Okay.
Google Maps or Bing Maps.
Oh, let's try Bing Maps. Bing Maps. Let's have a wee look. Bing Maps. Where should we go? Can I search for where would I like to go on holiday? Zanzibar, maybe. Zanzibar. That sounds exotic and sunny. So, where is the share? Oh, no, I saw it there. Embed. No, that's email. Hold on. No, go away. Come here. Oh. I saw the embed a map. I'm assuming I take this one. Oh, yes. Copy. I love this. Every day's a school day. Is it going to work? No, don't know if it's going to work.
Come out and press play and see what it does now. There we go. I did.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, you're scrolling sideways. If you were scrolling down, it'd be easier.
Oh no, I'm scrolling up. I forgot I changed it. That's much better. Oh yes, that's amazing, isn't it?
That is fantastic.
Wow. That's really good.
And it's interactive as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I like that. Top tip from Laura. Beach apartments. I wonder if you could change how it looks. Maybe not. Larger map. Oh, wait.
And also, if we're planning a primary 7 trip away, we also had a question the other day where somebody was talking about a residential that they were taking, and they wanted to be able to share pictures, information with parents throughout. So that, Niall, as you said, that would be really good for to give parents information as to where the students were going. Could all be on a sway, and then when the students are away, the teacher could be uploading pictures and information on what they've been getting up to, and then it's still in the same link that it's always been the whole time. So you start off with the planning to share with the parents, and then afterwards you've got the story of their trip while they're away.
Yeah, because you can share that URL before you even go on your trip. That's a great idea. Oh,
yes,
nice.
students can start it, teacher can finish it.
Look at that. That's amazing. I wonder if it looks bigger. Let me make it bigger. Big. No, let's go biggest.
That's what I like, Laura, the fact that everything's in one place. We were finding that students were being given 3, 4, 5 links to different things. Here's a video that we want you to do. Here's a website we want you to go to. Here's this we want you to go to. And just being able to put it all in that one place and share it out once.
So, because I've only used a little.
Oh, so the size on the left-hand side.
View larger map. Okay.
No, if you go to the share, over on the left-hand side where it says custom, you should be able to change that.
Custom. Yeah. Right, okay, so that's a maximum size, so I could. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. 800 by 800, okay.
And then see if generate a new code.
I want to get a different style, Arial. Generate code, copy that. Okay, oh, come here, come on. I'm going to delete that one and get a new one. Embed. And then see.
Here we go.
There we go, that's better. Yeah, that's really good.
Maps of their town.
Yep. Yeah, that's lovely. There's a nice beach. That's really good. I like that a lot. Cheetah's Rock. I wonder if I could. No. Can't grab that. I'll just make it go smaller or bigger. That's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you for that, Laura. Ooh. Here we go. Let's try this. I'm going to share my screen just to show you. I don't know if this is going to work. Hold on a second. So I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to go for another embed code.
So I've got a couple of people have joined. We're just taking a very short break. We're going to in about 4 minutes. So I'll shout loud if people in the kitchen. 4-minute warning.
Oh, I'm not sure that worked. No, it didn't work. Oh, I thought I would be able to embed the results from the Menti, but it's not.
No.
No, it's not a supported site. Well, that's a shame. I got all excited there. But I guess that's the beauty of Sway, you know, even just to try things out, even if you don't know if it works or not, it's really good idea just to have a go at it.
Just on the forms part of it, we've got lots of forms. There's a forum here. We're trying to work out how to do a staff cover forum, so I'll just pull that up with the questions. But if you've got a questionnaire, then you can, if you go to share, and again, you then get that embed code that's there for your forum. You can go back into your Sway. You can add the embed, which is in the media. Paste your embed code. Oh, didn't copy that. Copy the code. Back. Now, if you paste that in and then you go to play, you can see your Microsoft forum will fill in there, and you just click fill in the forum and it'll either pop out or you can actually do it within the Sway as well. It just depends on how it's put it in. It doesn't normally pop out for me, but and you can then submit that as well, and it'll bring it also. We found that really useful. You'll see it in one of the examples that I've got.
And even if you can't embed things, you can still put a link in, so you can link another website or another.
Go to the text, and if you go to the link, it'll ask you, what do you want to display? So forms link, put in your web link that's there. That's not a link because that's an iframe, but you know what I mean. I need a web address.
Yeah, just the URL, yeah.
YouTube will do. I'll go back to that video. And you then have the option to just put in the link like that. So you can add it as a link like that, or embed. It's up to you what you feel is appropriate for whatever it is that you are sharing.
Sarah, guess what?
What?
We have been tagged in a Twitter post. I'm going to share my screen because I'm dead excited about this. Hold on a second. Come back here. Come here. Are you ready? Look, Mrs. Miller.
Well done.
I love that. I'm going to put in a wee gif. Fabulous. Abs. Oh yeah, we're going to have some. Oh yeah, this one. Amazing. Love this.
Okay, so the next bit's on the sharing. So I'm going to share my screen. And we were talking about this idea of being able to share with staff, with other people, inside your organisation, outside your organisation, and then moving on to the collaboration part of it. So there is, you'll notice the buttons up there for share. I always say the little ellipsis, the 3 dots, which is the ellipsis. If you click on that, go and see what you have available to you, because this is where all the good stuff is. It's always inside the 3 dots. And you get a couple of options. If you're signed in, so you have to be signed in, what you can do is you can duplicate the sway. So what we did with our staff when we were making up in our department, our sways, everybody had a certain topic that they were working on. We then added the link to a Word document. We said, this is the topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. And then when staff were in sway, they could go on and they could select, duplicate this link, this sway, and that would give them their own personal copy in their sway. You can save them as a template if you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again, which is potentially for a newsletter. But if you're wanting to say, I've got a sway here and you can have a copy of that sway to then do what you want with, they should be able to go in and duplicate that sway. You will have to then go in though and make sure where it says settings for this sway. When you look at the settings, I'm just going to move you over there, Amanda. When it says looking at the settings, you'll see there's one that says viewers and co-authors can duplicate this sway. Now, depending on what you are sharing out, you maybe don't want people to be able to duplicate it. So if you press untick that, then viewers can't actually go in and make their own copy of your sway. So it's just about knowing what settings are in there. There is also one that says autoplay. And autoplay means when they open up the sway on the website, instead of scrolling through themselves, it will go through like a presentation, how fast you want them to go through, and it will loop continuously. There is also in there the option to export. So you can export it to a Word document, or you can export it as a PDF, which might be helpful if you're trying to build up a portfolio and you need some paper evidence. We try and limit the amount of paper that we've got, but you can do it as a PDF and then quite easily print that off for a student. Or if you've got a student that's maybe at home who doesn't have a device, you can export it as a PDF, print it, and then they could take it home with them. So if you've made one up, that's potentially an option. So have a little look, make sure you have a little look in all those settings that are there, as well as things like accessibility checker. So if there's something in there that you've not got, it will tell you what you need to do to make your sway more accessible. For the sharing with staff, so when you click the share button, you got 3 options. You can share it with a specific person by putting in their address. You can, those within your organisation. So we're talking today about digital storytelling within Glow. So what this means is when you share a link, if somebody clicks on that link, they will be asked to sign into Glow to be able to view that link. I only use this if this is one that has got to be shared within our school. And I want to gather the information of who is completing, who is looking, no, that's a form, get myself mixed up. Those in the organisation with the link will have to sign in to be able to view it. The anyone with a link is what you want to do if you're sending your link out to parents, people that are not using Glow. Personally, I make most of my sways are anyone with a link, because I don't want the students to try and access it, have to log in, and actually they just need to view it. It doesn't matter about gathering details or anything. So I normally make most of mine anyone with a link. These are all view options. So once you've picked anyone with a link, you can copy that link. You can get what's called a visual link, and it will look like this. So it just looks nicer if you're maybe sending that out on Twitter, or if you're sending that out in a newsletter, it just looks a little bit nicer. Excuse me. And this is all to view. You can set it so that there's a password required if you want people to view it as well for it. And then the share button is for people to share it on. If you don't want people to be sharing on the sway that you've done, if you take that away, the share button will disappear for them as well. So there's a few options depending on what you're sharing, what you might want to do before you go out and do it. For me, normally anyone with a link, it's a view link that I am sharing. It doesn't matter if they go on and share it to other people. I copy that link, and that link is then usually pasted in a team for my students to go on and do. Or I can go into the team and I add it as a tab at the top of the team so that they can access it straight away. For collaborating, so if you're wanting to work with a member of staff on a SWAY together and you're working through something, you will need the edit link. Now the edit link, you'll notice it is different. So the view link is one link, the edit link does change. And you can copy that and email that over to the person and tell them that this is the one that you are wanting, that you're going to be collaborating on and working together for. So just be aware of that one, that it's a different link from it. Don't get them mixed up. And when it comes to students sharing, there's a few things that you can do when it comes to students collaborating on it. I'm just going to take it down. When students are collaborating, you can have 10 students at any one time working in a SWAY. They can go in, make a SWAY, and then share the edit link with another pupil. Or you can share a template and get them working in it together. So I have got a template in my SWAYs here, just to show you. Because the first time I said, go on, and we're all going to make a SWAY on a particular student collaboration. We're all going to make a SWAY on a particular topic. And they jumped in and they all started going in, adding cards, deleting cards, typing in each other's cards. And it was just crazy the first time I did it. So I thought to myself, right, and it needs to be more organised. So if I wanted everybody to work on something, it could be that each student has to work on a particular card. So you maybe want to add a card with the name of each student in there. Or you're maybe wanting them to work in groups. So here what I've done is I have made up a SWAY myself. I've just called it student collaboration. I have called it group 1. And what I want group 1 to do, and there's 3 students in this group, I want them to give me an outline on the topic. I want them to give me some background, and I also want them to give me their findings. So I can say, John, you're working on the outline for group 1. Susan, you're working on the background for group 1. And Andrew, you're working on the findings for it. So they're only then working on their card. They can add another card there, but they're working away on the information for their card, and they can change and they can add bullet points and so on. For it. It's been a long day. And that just made it so much more organised when it came to doing it. When I then share that with students, again, I go into share. It is an edit link that they're going to need to get because they need to be putting in information. I copy that edit link, I paste that in the team and say, go in and work on this SWAY together. But please be aware, it does only allow 10 pupils in. So if you're working with a class of 30, you are going to have maybe 3 SWAYs working at any one time. Does anybody have any questions about collaboration or sharing or anything like that? I know that can be quite confusing because there's lots of different links in there. I think the person that was asking about collaborations had to drop off as well.
So there's a couple of people typing and waiting to see. Is that the same for staff number collaborating?
Yes, any collaboration, it will be 10 people can collaborate at any one time on it. I think you would be okay if you could probably share it with 20 staff as long as there was only 10 of them working on it at any one time. Okay, so that's probably the bit on collaboration. I'm trying to find out where I am now. Students collaborating. Next up, right, some examples. I think sometimes the best thing is just to have a little look at what people have been doing. I'll take through some of mine. Amanda's got some of hers as well, seeing as I'm sharing my screen just now, and let you see some of the ways that we have been using it, and other people. There was other people that were sharing their SWAYs with us also. So I'm coming from a secondary background, so I'm using this with secondary pupils, but you can use it with primary right the way up. We've got a university example as well. So what I was saying was we use it as a kind of our online textbook. Each SWAY is for a particular key area in our national course. And we've got a little bit of information there. We add a video that we've got off YouTube. Big up to Mr. Mitchell on YouTube who puts out videos. They're amazing. They have helped us so much. And we put a video in there, and our students can't access YouTube in class though. So we actually put an alternative. If anybody is using ClickView, you can add a link to a ClickView video. We couldn't get a ClickView video to embed in this. That's not to say that it might not change, but we couldn't get ClickView videos to embed in a SWAY, unfortunately, but we were able to just put the link in there for our students. So we had 2 videos for them. If some of them were in school, some of them were out of school, whether or not they could access. We put lots of content in there. We have got our images. There was a little video that was uploaded in this one. I don't know if that's going to play. So this was one of our videos. This was a 3D model that I had with the students. So this was my video that I'd recorded on my phone and uploaded a video in there. Again, we've just got some more information. And then we had a task. So we said task 1, our students' tasks are actually all done in OneNote, but they had to go in and they had to label a diagram. So we showed them what the task was as well. We then gave them some more information. And again, we'll scroll down. I'm just going to keep going. And then we get into task 2. So this is task 2. So sometimes it was that they had to go to the OneNote and do something. Other ones it was they just had to write it out in their jotter with us. And then at the end, once we've gone through all the information, a little experiment for them to try. The video was put there again at the end. We wanted them to see it at the beginning and at the end. And then we gave them a little question to do. And they had a forum, and the forum was there for them to check their understanding. So we made the forums up. The student can then just scroll through the forum, and we can then get the results of that forum to check the understanding. We also then, as I said, looked at the analytics of it. So everything was in one place, so easy to share with a student, but also so easy to share with a parent. We sometimes get emails in from parents saying, what are they to be working on? And we can just share that out to the parent as well, so the parent and the student can access that. So that was one of the ways that I was using it. This one, when it comes up, this was one of the ways that we are sharing videos in our school. There are various options for sharing videos within Stream. It's not something that I'm using it a lot of yet, the permissions on how to share. So we have webinars within our school, and we record our webinars and want to be able to share these with staff. So all our resources are in one place, and we upload our half an hour, kind of, I think it's about 20-30-minute videos. Well, there's one on Classroom Screen, there's one on Microsoft Edge, there's one on Whiteboard, Kahoots, and we just put them all into that SWAY, and then we're able to share the SWAY with the staff to say, if you want access to the videos from all our webinars throughout the year, please click on this link. And we are then adding to that throughout the year as well, so we're able to add it. We can put in a SWAY of old ones as well if we needed to, but again, it just keeps all those videos in one place rather than sharing it out time and time again. The last one was an example from university. I think it was University of the Highlands and Islands, and they were looking at installing a server and wanted to give information out to people that were working there on what they had to do to install their server. So information was there. All the links to the websites that were needed for that were in there, and that could be shared out with the staff or with the students. And there was a little video there at the end to help them. So it doesn't matter what age group you're working with. I think you'll be able to find that SWAY will do the job for you. It's not about, well, does SWAY work for my students? It's about saying, well, what do I want to be able to do, and does that accomplish it? And I think for most of the cases, it is a yes. Amanda, I'll stop sharing because you've got some examples, some smaller ones.
Yep. Okay, I shall just show you now. I've embedded all my sways into OneNote, which I've done a lot. I keep them as kind of all in the one place in my OneNote. So I'm just going to go right there. Here we are. So the first one I've got here is on symmetry, and I think this was, can't actually remember, I think this was primary 3 that I did this, and it was just introduction to symmetry. Learning intention, success criteria, and then it was really easy. I had this on my Promethean panel and easy for my pupils just to go back through and have a look. And this was just a quick introduction to symmetry and symmetry in nature. I think I actually had this sent out as well to parents because the task at the time was to go outside at the weekend and find something symmetrical in the world. So that was a really good way of doing it. This was a bump up day task, and I think the class was primary 5, and we were looking at art by Georgia O'Keeffe, and I was just going through lots and lots of different examples of the paintings that she had done, and it was about looking at tone and shade and tint. So that was just a lesson on art. This one was a topic for little ones about day and night, and again, I think that's a scrolly. It is. I think this is the only one that's horizontal. That's so weird. And it was just showing them examples of day and night, and it was just about introducing sort of ideas of what they could do in play around the classroom about creating their own artwork. This one is actually not one of my own sways. This is one of our friends, Miss Emma Hedges, who I have got special permission. I messaged her today saying, can I share this? And she said, absolutely. And she shared it with me. Gosh, I think it was in the first lockdown, or I'm not really sure, but it's a brilliant one about internet safety, and it does it go? Yeah, it's a sidey on one as well. So she's got aims, sidey on, listen to me, success criteria, staying safe. She had lots of kind of pictures and prompts to show that there's different ways of keeping yourself safe and what that meant in real life. Talking about passwords. And one of the things that I loved about this was she included along here activity time, a link to an escape room in OneNote. So she created an escape room in OneNote for her pupils to solve. If I click on it, click on OK, you'll see it very quickly, I think. Yep. So there was Matt, and Matt had to solve all the clues to get out of the escape room. I thought that was a brilliant way of doing it. So she included a QR code and creating strong passwords. So I really, really like that one. This is one of the ones that I used in lockdown, second lockdown, and I was teaching phonics to primary 1. And see if I can get it moving. Yep. And it was just introducing the letter M. And this sway was actually embedded in a thing link. So that's another way of using sway to embed it in other places. I've got my sways embedded in OneNote here, and I've also embedded them in ThingLink for things. Action and sound, and the song had a little audio recorded in here as well. There it is. Letter formation, just went through, and that was really sharing with parents about how to introduce a sound. This one was actually a newsletter for my parents, and I just shared the one URL with them, and then I just updated this. So I could update it throughout the term, just an introduction in this issue, and that was great. I had great feedback from parents because they could keep it handy, and then you had dates of when things were happening, anything about homework, PE days, reminders, all sorts of things, what we were focusing on in French and outdoor learning. So that was a really good way of using sway. Here was my French one, which is not very good, but it was basically introducing the family, and there was a wee video, and then there was me recorded myself speaking in French, which I won't make you listen to, and it was just mum, dad, brother and sister. And then this is one that I made in this first lockdown, and I just had really good fun. I actually shared this on Twitter, and there was lots of companies that were sharing their logos. So this is how the logo looked originally, and then the logos were all socially distanced. And there was loads and loads of companies that were doing this. There was Audi, keep distance. This was during the first lockdown. Volkswagen, Nike or Nike. They were all over the world. They were actually redoing their icons and logos for socially distancing.
And that comparison one is really good. We've used it in science when we compare like a wind pollinated flower and an insect pollinated flower. It's also really good for flashcards. So you can have the word, and you have to put it as a picture, but you can have the word. So you could do it all in PowerPoint and save all the slides, the PowerPoint slides as images, and then upload the word, and then upload the definition, and have them being able to slide over each other. So for flashcards, that comparison is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just shared that. I just put that together. I didn't use it for my own primary ones, but I just put it together very quickly because I'd spotted more and more people had been sharing their icons and logos, and that's it. That's all the ones that I have to share. I've got so many, but that's just a small range.
Just a couple of extra ones on mine, just to show this was when we were talking about the student collaboration. So I teach seniors higher human biology, hence why it's a topic on contraception. Okay, but this was one where the students I shared this with the students in teams. So they were given the information on what they had to do. It says each person will have a method of contraception and investigate it on a card, and we can see. So this was group one's task. So their name was the title, and then they had their information down there, and then we went on in group two. They put their information in. So they were all working away on the sway together, and that's why I was talking about it was really important to kind of outline the groups and let them know. And what we were finding was there was more than 10 people in my class. So they were researching on one device, and then they were saying, yeah, I've found it. Let me go in now and work on the sway. So they were taking turns to input the information on the sway. So they all had a task, but only one person from each group was actually inputting the information at that time. The last one I wanted to show was another student example. And this was a National 4 added value unit, which we don't do at the moment, but we will be back to them for them soon. And I give the students the option, do you want to do a poster, do you want to do a report, or do you want to do a PowerPoint or a sway? They can choose what they want to do. And this student chose to do theirs on sway. So we've got his title, he's got his background information there. He has got an image of the data that we were using. This was actually given out to them on a piece of paper, and he took a photograph of it and he uploaded the data that he was going to be looking at and talking about. So he's got his information there, but he then took a picture of, again, the data, what graph he drew of that data, how he managed to display it differently, and then he uploaded a picture of his graph and then told me a little bit about his findings, and just put in a funny little video at the end there as well, something that he says he couldn't have done if it was a poster. But I think him being able to take the picture of his work and put it in there as part of his portfolio, as part of his added value unit, and then I could sit down and mark it accordingly internally. So I think that was a really good example from what the student had done, and I liked that he could put that in there. So that's just my two examples. Live collaboration and negotiation. Yeah. So just before I think that's all the examples that we had. I know we are, we've still got about kind of 15 minutes or so left, but I'm not going to keep people here for the sake of it. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? Don't drop off yet. We've got a feedback form for you. Please don't. And
we've also got a quiz. Don't forget the quiz. We've got the quiz. We've got the quiz. The fun quiz.
Ask if there's any questions first. If there's any questions first.
If there's any questions, because you might need the answers for the quiz.
I don't think you will.
No. Okay.
Right.
What's the answer to question 1? No. No.
Right. So if it was that question, there's no questions as yet. We'll go on. It's literally a 5-question, a little bit of fun, a little bit of
So I've put the link to kahoot.it in the chat, so you can click on that and then you can enter the code that Sarah is going to share with you.
I'm going to share my sound because you've got to share the sound.
Or you can use a different device. If you're using the same device, you can click on the link and then just flip back.
On the app, it'll just give you the code just now. There we go.
Oh,
687-5061. You've got to have the music, otherwise it's okay.
What was it? 687
5061.
5061. I don't know why I'm playing, but I'm going to.
And I love a little bit more.
So cool.
Right, we're getting going. Super simple. It's only 5 questions because you'll be getting hungry for your dinner. Right, sway, ... You finish the sentence. Can be used as a portfolio but not as a newsletter. Can be used as a newsletter but not for presentations. Can be used as a newsletter, presentation to a science journal and portfolio. There we go.
Who was fastest?
I'm
not competitive.
So yeah, it literally can be used for anything: newsletters, presentation, journal, lab report. I've used it as lab reports actually before. For kids filmed themselves doing the experiment, added that into their sway, and then gave me the data and what they found for it. So it's great for a lab report as well. Screenshot of an Excel file. Right, sway cards can contain audio files that are either recorded in a hot card. They can be uploaded or recorded into an image, a media, an audio, or a written card. It's an audio card. 5 people. So it's within the media section, but it is an audio card. Now, Amanda, if you've got this right, that doesn't count. You're not allowed to do it.
No, I deliberately didn't.
Dropped off. Oh, Emma and Chris.
Oh.
Right, so to make sure a sway is accessible to everyone, be sure to run the accessibility checker, the spell check, the virus scanner, or the immersive reader. Yeah, accessibility checker, the little ellipsis at the top, 3 buttons, that's where your accessibility checker is in there. Oh, Chris is on fire. Pam's moving up. Right, who can control who sees a sway by adjusting what? The lens, the image set, the permissions, or the web link. Oh, now it's who's fastest finger. Pam, last one. Right, what is the maximum number of people who can edit a sway at the same time? 20, 10, 5, and 1. Super fast. Super fast. Hey, full marks. Let's see where we go.
Who's made the podium? Well done, Laura.
Well done, well done. Who's top?
And it is. You win a big congratulations, Chris. Well done.
So, in terms of top tips, it's basically go and have a play. Go and have a play. Share with somebody. I would always say before you share it out, particularly if you're sharing it out to parents or something, double check in a private browser that they can see it, or send it, as a text message to somebody so that you can check that they can see it also. And yeah, see what you can do, and please let us know on Twitter how you're getting on with it. Are you finding that it's beneficial in your class? Tweet it out to us, let us know. We would love to get some feedback that people are using it and finding that it's productive. So we've got a little forum for you to fill in, which is in the chat. If you wouldn't mind clicking on that link and a little bit of feedback about it. This is the first one that myself and Amanda have done with Tablet Academy. So it would be great to get some feedback for the next ones. And we're back on Monday, aren't we, Amanda? Doing OneNote.
Yay! With more quizzes.
I know Niall's in the background. I don't know if Niall can put up the link. On Twitter, they're putting out all the courses. There's a whole host of courses happening over the next month and will be over the year. So check their events page and have a little look at what is upcoming, because there's lots of different ones coming up over the next while. So thanks very much, guys. Please do the form.
Yes, please do the form.
Hopefully,
please
yes,
make
definitely.
sure you redeem your code, get the code, and then
redeem your code and do the form.
Download and share your certificate, put it in your GTCS profile, and book onto another session. We'd love to see you at the next one and share what you're doing on Twitter. I love seeing what other people are doing.
Well done. Take care, guys. Thanks very much for coming along tonight. You can go and have your dinner now.
Yeah, go and put your feet up, relax, and enjoy your long weekend if you've got one.